When it comes time to finally introduce foods to your baby, which so far has been exclusively breast or bottle fed, many mamas have tons of questions. I know I sure did. And you may have heard of the saying, foods before one are just for fun, and although it's a very catchy phrasing, and it's probably meant to reduce mom's stress around food, it doesn't ring fully true, unfortunately. What you feed your baby starting from around 6 months of age can have a great impact on your little one's nutrition status, which in turn can have repercussions on growth and on development. And one good example of a nutrient to keep an eye out for is iron, which is why I've made it the topic of this video. Iron requirements will shoot up dramatically around the 6-month mark, and if your baby doesn't get enough iron, it can lead to issues like a lower immune system or a delayed development. Now you can read about iron and why it's so important way more extensively in an article that is linked to this video, which you can find on the Veggies and More website. I'll put a link to it down below. But for now, I want to use this video to give you a few examples of iron-rich foods. And as a bonus, they're all plant-based, so you can use them with your vegan babies too. Legumes are the first category of iron-rich foods, and the legumes richest in this nutrient include soybeans and all foods made from them, as well as lentils, red kidney beans, and my personal favorite, black beans. You can easily incorporate them to your baby's meals, for instance by making scrambled tofu, a lentil dal, or simply by adding hummus or mashed black beans to your baby's plate. Nuts and seeds are another great option, and they're actually somewhat of a double whammy because they're rich in both iron and in fats, which are important for babies and for young children. Now, the nuts and seeds richest in iron include flax, hemp, and chia seeds, as well as pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds. You can easily add nuts and seeds to meals by sprinkling them on just about anything. For instance, a little bit of flax seeds on cooked oats, or hemp seeds mixed in with dinner. And I personally try to sprinkle them on the foods which I know my baby likes best, tomatoes or sweet potatoes, for example. Another great way to incorporate nuts and seeds to your baby's meals is by mixing them in with smoothies or by making a chia pudding, by simply mixing chia seeds with the liquid of your choice in a 1-to-3 ratio. So 1 tablespoon of chia seeds for 3 tablespoons of liquid. And I love chia puddings not only because they're rich in iron, but also because they're super easily transportable. Veggies can also be rich in iron, and this is especially the case with leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, but also with broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. You can serve some as sides. My little one particularly likes munching on steamed broccoli, for example, or you can also shred spinach or cabbage into smaller pieces and mix them in with mashed avocado or hummus so they're easier for your baby to eat. Another option is to mix them in with homemade smoothies to create an iron-rich snack for your baby. Finally, a few grains and grain products happen to contain more iron than others, and that's the case for wheat germ, amaranth, and oats. Wheat germ can be sprinkled on just about anything. However, keep in mind that it's very rich in fiber, which can be very filling and perhaps cause your little one to eat less of the other foods that are on his or her plate. I find that the easiest way to add iron-rich grains to my baby's diet is to rely on oats for breakfast. Cooked oats are naturally the right consistency to use them as some of your baby's first foods, and they're also a great vehicle for other nutrient-rich foods, for instance, ground flax seeds, shredded coconut, and berries. Now, it's worth keeping in mind that the type of iron found in plant foods is more difficult for your baby's body to absorb. But that said, there are a few strategies that you can use to help boost the iron absorption from plant foods. First, you can combine foods rich in iron with foods rich in vitamin C. This can boost iron absorption by up to 3-fold. Good examples of vitamin C-rich foods to include are sweet potatoes, bell peppers, tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, raspberries, kiwis, mangoes, and citrus fruit. My little one loves tangerines, and I also like to season dishes with a dash of lemon juice for a little bit of added vitamin C. Next, you can use a cast iron pan to make meals. Once you get the hang of it, it's super easy to do, and it can increase the iron content of your foods by around 16%. If you're not familiar with cast iron pans, check out my previous video on how to season yours for your best cooking results. Soaking grains and legumes or using sprouted or fermented versions of them, such as tempeh, is yet another way to boost the iron absorption from plant foods. These food prep techniques work by reducing the amount of anti-nutrients naturally found in plant foods by around 60 to 90%, and anti-nutrients are simply compounds which make it more difficult for our bodies to absorb the nutrients that food contain. So reducing the amount of anti-nutrients found in foods can make it easier for your baby's body to absorb the iron that they contain. Now, one final strategy consists of combining iron-rich plant foods with foods rich in protein. For instance, combining iron-rich leafy greens with foods like quinoa, legumes, nuts, and seeds. You can find a much more extensive list of iron-rich plant foods on the Veggies and More website. They're listed in decreasing order of iron content, and I'll put the link to the article down below. Now, with that said, I'd love to hear about how you make sure that your bib gets enough iron each day. So if you're happy to share, I encourage you to do so in the comment section below. Also, if you found this content useful, please give it a like. It helps others find the content more easily. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe so that this kind of videos can keep appearing in your feed. All right, that's it for today. Until next time, ciao, ciao.